Yes, we can.
Perfect. Classical question before starting anything. So, hey, good afternoon, everyone, and good morning from Finland, and very warm welcome. We are delighted to see you here today for this important conversation about the future of education in India. My name is Olli Kamunen, and I am the CEO of ONNI Education from Finland, together with my colleague, Mrs. Rachna Lalwani, who leads the ONNI India, and we are here to share how the Finnish pedagogy and Indian's national education policy can work hand in hand. For the past 6 years, the ONNI Education has been working closely with the schools, teachers, and parents in Asia, and including here also in India. And our aim is to support the joyful and child-centered learning. And our focus has always been on one simple goal, helping children grow up happy, confident, and curious. And today's webinar is titled NEP, Aligned Finnish Education, Fits Your Curriculum. And that is exactly what we want to show you, how the ONNI curriculum and inspired by the Finnish best practices, it already fits naturally with NEP visions without requiring big structural changes in your schools. So over this webinar, we look at the key principles of NEP and see how they are connect with the Finnish pedagogy and explore the practical solutions that you can start applying in your classrooms and schools. And I just want to say at the beginning, and then this is not about comparing two systems. It's about the finding the common ground and building together the way forward, and one that support the teachers and engage parents, and most importantly, helps every child to thrive. And this is our plan for today. And before actually starting, let me introduce myself first a little bit more closer. So as mentioned, my name is Olli Kamunen. I have worked in the field of education over 20 years, starting my career from the kindergarten as an assistant teacher. Then I worked many years as a preschool teacher, principal of the kindergarten. Then I have been working abroad, training teachers in United States, training teachers in China and in Vietnam, and also in India. And 6 years ago, we have established an ONNI Education, the Finnish education export company, and our aim is to bring the happiness and well-being into every children's life around the world. I'm also a PhD researcher. I'm studying at the moment, making research about the work motivation and job identity of the teachers, which is truly fascinating topic as well. Would you introduce yourself and share some ONNI's mission in India, Rachna?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining us today. And I'm Rachna Lalwani. I'm the country lead of ONNI Education Finland. I'm based in New Delhi and I have about 15 years of experience in the field of early education. I have worked in various capacities, play schools, be it an educator, as a trainer, as academic director, and even a center director. So I have dedicated my career to strengthening the foundation years of children's learning and growth. ONNI comes from Finland, a country we all know that is celebrated worldwide for having the best education system. And our mission in India is to make this excellence accessible to play schools in India. And how are we doing that? We are doing it by adapting the research based Finnish pedagogy to the Indian context. We partner with schools in India and provide child centric curriculums. We provide trainings for leaders, educators, parents, and we have other services as well. The focus is on nurturing creativity, critical thinking, emotional well being, life skills, the most important qualities that prepare children for their future. So we are focusing on that. We empower the adults who are nurturing the lives of children, and we strengthen the school with a global edge. So I'm delighted that you're here with us this morning, and over to you, Mr. Kamunen.
Thank you. I'm also, before actually starting, I would like to say that if there's any questions, we have time at the end of the session. But if you want to clarify something on if you have the question around of the topic that we are just talking, you can just open your microphone or raise your hand and we can pause for that moment as well. But I think we are ready to go directly to today's topic and talk about the National Education Policy, NEP 2020 in India, because this is a huge topic and this is something that affects for the education in India. And also have to say that I have done my research. I have explored through of this national education policy. And here is a little bit about my summary and my thoughts and reflection regarding to this topic. And there might be somebody who is more into this and you have deeper understanding and knowledge around of this. So please do share of your questions and how do we see these things also. It help us as well. So this NEP was approved in July 2020, and it's the first major education reform in India in more than 3 decades. And when I searched into this, I noticed that the last policy was from 1986, I think if I got it right. So this kind of like a new framework really represent the generational shift in thinking. And why was it needed? As we all know that the India is one of the largest education systems in the world, and while it has made a great progress in access to the schooling, there was still concern that the children were not gaining the skills and motivation they would need for the future. And also because the fact that the societies and everything is changing so fast, so the education needs to be changed as well. So employees, teachers, and parents has felt that the education had become too focused on the rote memorization and exams rather than preparing children to think, create, and solving problems. So this NIP 2020 has responded to this by presenting a vision of education for the 21st century and it introduced new kind of like structures, starting from the foundational stage, age 3 to 8 years old, which includes the early childhood education and care. And this is also the recognition that the first years of the life are the most important for the brain development and the strong foundation in the play and curiosity and relationship are essential. This policy also emphasized the holistic and multidisciplinary education. That means that looking beyond academic marks are way important as well. And also instead of helping children grow socially and emotionally, creatively and physically as well. And also this talks about reducing the rote learning and encouraging the more play-based learning and activity-based learning. And also it talks about the experiential learning in classrooms. So in short, this NEP it's not just about changing the structure of schooling, it's about the changing the culture of learning in India and make it more child-centered and skill-oriented and future-ready. And Rachna, because you work directly with the Indian schools, so what are your feelings and thoughts? How do you see the teachers and the schools and kindergartens? How do it have been reacting to this NEP?
Yes, so I have been meeting a lot of educators, in the past few years. And what I have observed that early childhood educators have largely welcomed the NEP 2020 because it is prioritizing play-based learning. And we know how important play-based learning is, how joyful it is. Every educator has felt it at some point or the other that play-based learning is joyful learning. In fact, even the policy of having developmentally appropriate pedagogy being applied, that is also something which is largely welcomed by the educators. So hence it signals a very positive shift. And some have the leaders have even spoken to me to the extent saying that this could be like a game changer. This NEP 2020 is a game changer, and it could change the face of entire youth that will come up now. These early education children who, when they become the youth, the face of the country starts changing from here. But the biggest challenge that they see or we have observed is, this game changing can happen only if it is implemented properly.
Mm.
So implementation is a big problem. And the challenge in implementation is lack of trained educators. So this gap, to fulfill this gap, it's a difficult job to see that the educators are motivated enough, they are trained in quality through quality professionals. So having professionals who can train these trainers is also a gap. So
Mm.
I am happy that we at ONNI are able to identify this, and clearly we are on a mission to create an ecosystem of quality trained ONNI educators. So I'm really seeing that we bring in that big change. We play a big role in this.
That's a good point.
Over to you. Yeah.
Thank you. I also would like to add a little bit because I'm the master of the early childhood education and done my research also regarding to this. So I want to add a little bit why I believe this NEP is so important and bring a little bit about the scientific perspective into the conversation. So first of all, when I was reading through the NEP, I was really happy about the putting the focus on the early childhood education. As we all know, and regarding to the science, that 85% of the brain growth, it happens before the age 8. So therefore, putting more effort for the early childhood education is truly can bring the massive change the whole education system, also for the primary education and what happens after the early childhood education. Also, one of the things that was truly fascinating was that uh, this more child-centered pedagogy that the NEP puts effort on, and it has been highlighted from the research that it affects for the better school outcomes, and it also narrows the learning gaps. And because that is the one of the difficulties and challenges in the many cultures and many countries, and also we need to have fewer learning gaps and giving the opportunity for every children to thrive. Also, the second best thing, in my opinion, about this NEP is that it really put the enhance on the play and experiential learning. This play and experiential learning has been highlighted on the many research to be the best possible way for the small children to learn. And the play and experiential learning can really boost the memory, make the learning more deeper. It also enhances the children's creativity and the self-regulation, among many others significant opportunities that the play will bring to the children's life. And also what we are extremely happy in ONNI Education because we are really also putting the emphasis on the well-being and also with the NEP, the well-being and emotional climate is something that has been given extra effort. This well-being and emotional climate is the basis for the motivation, and if the children feel motivated for learning in early years, there's a huge and good opportunity that they will fall in love in learning, and that can kind of create this lifelong learning. How about Rachna? How do you feel this kind of like a scientific view can be connected to what you see in Indian classrooms at the moment?
This perspective is absolutely true in Indian classrooms as well. Uh, we see that when children feel safe and are given the opportunity to learn through play, they actually thrive.
Mm,
For example, if there is a simple, rather, replacing simple memorizing method
mm,
to changing into a hands-on activity like building blocks or playing with clay and learning different concepts through that, or even a storytelling, children grasp the concepts better. And they and in this process of grasping the concept, they are also developing their confidence, problem solving skills, social skills. So the NEP rightly emphasizes on joyful, playful learning, which is what children need exactly to build strong, lifelong foundations. So NEP is really important and it is applicable to the Indian classrooms as well. You've seen this. Yeah,
perfect. Thank
thanks.
you for sharing. So let's pause for a moment and ask ourselves that why is that we, from a relatively small country like Finland, are here to speak about the education in India, which have the largest and most diverse education systems in the world. And the answer is not that the Finland has discovered something entirely new or unique, rather that the Finnish education is a summary of the best practices from around the world, and they have been already for over many decades carefully tested and adapted and applied over many decades. And what makes Finland stand out is not the size or the resources, but the way we have been able to build a system for education where play, creativity, and well-being are already central. And the learning is designed around the child's curiosity and joy, not just exams. And in Finland, the teachers are trusted professionals, and instead of constant testing, they focus on supporting each child's individual growth. And perhaps the most unique Finnish contribution, which aligns directly with NEP, is the belief that the well-being comes first. Happy, safe, and balanced child, they learn best. And this is the idea that is now clearly echoed in NEP and call for play-based pedagogy and competence-focused learning and holistic development. So when we talk about the Finnish education here, we are not claiming to bring something foreign or distant, and we are simply showing how the principles that NEP already values, they have put into the practice successfully in Finland for many decades, and how they can also work in Indian classrooms. And this is something that Finnish education can bring to the Indians ground setting. Rachna, I would like to ask, because you know the best for the Indian perspective, that where do you see the strongest alignment between the Finnish practices and NEP?
So for me, what I have understood is that the strongest alignment between the Finnish practices and the NEP is that they both focus on joyful learning through play and exploration. So
Mm,
this is the most important and the biggest content. Both focus on well-being and relationships. So they lay a lot of focus on the well-being of child relationships, building as the foundation for learning. So it's very important to see this point, as well as the holistic development that we see that of social, emotional, cognitive, physical, and creative skills. So here again, there is a stark, alignment between the two, the
mm,
Finnish and the NEP.
mm.
Yes, that's about.
Good, thank you. And now I think the biggest questions that we have been also pondering is that how can we turn the Finnish best practices into the practical solutions? And like I mentioned, that Finland has already implemented a similar kind of like a pedagogical mindset over decades already. But the biggest challenge comes from that the Finland and the Finnish education system and the Finnish curriculums and Finnish teacher training has been planned for the Finnish teachers and Finnish children who are live in Finland. And even though that we are share many of the values and democratic principles between India and Finland, there is much of differences between these two countries. And even though that you might go for the Finnish National Education website and just buy our curriculum and thinking to start implementing it right away, I would say that it would be impossible because, like mentioned, that the Finnish education is planned for the Finnish children who live in Finland. So we need that kind of like mindset in and localization of turning these Finnish practices into the practical solutions that work also in the different cultures and the different countries as well. But luckily, this is something that we have been working with, and as mentioned, that I also have a background of bringing Finnish education to different countries, and I have to say that while United States is different than Finland, so is China different than Finland. Vietnam is the different, and also the India, and every culture have their own practices and their own traditions that need to be taken into the considerations. So it's much about the localization, and that's something that we have done also while we have been creating this our solution as well. So the first, I would just like to briefly explain how the NEP meets our ONNI education curriculum. We have made this ONNI curriculum utilizing the best practices from the Finnish curriculum that could work also in another cultural context. What we are implementing deeply in our pedagogy is, of course, the play-based pedagogy. We have been creating the ONNI months, which offers the practical lesson plans for the teachers to implement. And they are also, besides play-based pedagogy, they are highly on the emphasis on the experiential learning. We also utilizing the ONNI evaluation forms that brings the competency-based learning goals for the teachers to utilize, and also putting lots of emphasis on the children's well-being. Our pedagogical practices they consist of the multiliteracy and creativity, and we also have our learning goals, but instead of kind of like having a narrow learning goal, the learning area, for example, mathematics, we have been expanding it into the more deeper understanding of the logical thinking and mathematical things and everything else. We also have this holistic development in our heart. We have 5 cornerstones that can kind of utilizing and giving practical tools for the teachers. These only 5 cornerstones consist of the well-being and happiness and play and our image of the child that helps the teachers and educators to see every child's potential. Then we also put a lot of emphasis of the parental partnerships. We believe that it's important to kind of like work together with the parents and that's also create the more satisfied parents as well. And of course, the life skills education is one of our cornerstones that we are utilizing also for us our lesson plans. And how does this look in practice? We have this thing what we called ONNI program that the kindergartens, play schools, and the schools start implementing and utilizing in the easy way the ONNI practices and the Finnish pedagogy that are well aligned with the NEP. We start with our ONNI program to making this kind of like a ONNI call survey where we are starting to understanding more better about the kindergartens or play school needs and we have this possibility to tailor the program to fit in for every kindergarten content. This ONNI call survey is a research page based on the research made by the Finland University. and we have been implementing it and localize it in the meet for the needs of the Indian kindergartens and teachers as well. So that's something that we do at the beginning to understand more about the cultural needs of every kindergarten and every play school and every client. Besides that only goal survey, we will continue our work on training the educators. And as Rachna also mentioned that I think the biggest change in NEP and what it brings to the education in India is that it requires totally different kind of like mindset of the teachers, because now the teachers doesn't put that much effort anymore of the rote learning or making children to gain those academic skills so deeply. So it needs quite much mind shifting your mind towards different kind of like education. And that's something that we are focused lots of on our educator training. And of course we are giving practical implementation, and we are giving practical tools that the teachers can utilize inside of their classroom. But I think the biggest thing of our educator training is affecting to the teacher's mindset on how do they see their role, how do they see children, how do they see the concept of the learning, and how do they see their role of this thing. Our educator training consists of the live webinar where we can have this discussion with the teachers. It also consists of the self materials, study materials, and practical implementation tasks that the teachers do inside of their workplaces. The third big thing about our ONNI program is, of course, the pedagogical materials that we can give into the kindergartens. It consists deeply about our curriculum, where we have been written all of our ideas of the how do we see the child, the image of the child, what are the values that we can bring into the kindergarten, and also what is the mindset of the conception of learning. And those are really important thing when we are starting to change the mindset of the educators and teachers. And besides that, except of the mindset and changing and affecting to that one, like mentioned, that we are giving the practical tools for the kindergartens. And that practical tools, we tell them as an ONNI month. So this ONNI month is the monthly package that consists of the lesson plans that the teachers can implement right away in their daily work and also in their practices with the children. And the lesson plans are easy to follow, easy to implement, and easy also to modify to meet for the children needs. And we as an ONNI Education, we believe that it's not only about the children and teachers, but we see the parents' role really important. And therefore, we have also created the parents course called How to Raise Happy Kids, because that's we can also influence the parents' mindset, and the cooperation between the teachers and the parents will ease when they're sharing the similar mindset about how do they see their child and how do they see the meaning of the well-being, and for the academic results as well. So this ONNI program is quite comprehensive, something for the directors, something for the teacher, something for the children, and also something for the parents, and all hand in hand made by the really well aligned with NEP principles. Do you have, Ratna, something that you would like to add to our solutions for this?
So, of course, you very well put it again here. What does the ONNI education training consist of? And it is covering all the, all the caregivers who are around a child. So that is the beauty of this program that I see. Further on, we can go ahead with discussing the curriculum and the lesson plans. Yeah, over
Perfect.
to you. Yeah.
Yes, perfect. So what do you think do you anyone have any questions about if you're thinking about this ONNI program as a general kind of like comprehensive package that gives everything, in our opinion, that helps the kindergarten to work aligned with the NEP? And do you feel that there is something missing in your point of view, or something that you would like to highlight that this is something really important that isn't available at the moment in India's ground settings?
Hi, Olli.
Hi.
This is Roma. So I'm here from Assam. I am the coordinator of the preschool, and I have been associated with the school for the past 2 years now.
Yes.
So my like I just saw the overview of your program. My biggest concern would be getting the parents on board. I think that is one thing that we are struggling here, because even if we change and train our teachers and also implement your program, parents are the ones who are really difficult to get on board. I mean, they are the ones, they are very, very important, right? And we want that bond to happen. And lately what we have already adopted is that we bring all the parents, say one parent a month, and we make them do practical projects with along with the students of their classes, as per the theme that we have touched upon. So what else Omni is going to bring for us when it comes to parents?
That's a really good question, and one of the things that we have been pondering a lot, and then also one of the things that we have been building lots of different solutions. We also believe that even though that many of us say that the children are the most important ones for the kindergartens, but in many cases it's the parents who make the decisions. Does they want to put their child into the kindergarten? So therefore, we need to have something for the parents as well. The first of all, I want to say that in our teacher training program, there is a one module consists of cooperation with the parents, and that make the teachers to understand, of course, the potential of the cooperation, but giving practical solution on how do we can enhance the cooperation with the parents with the daily basis as well. We need to understand the parents' role. We need to understand the parent challenges, what they are facing, in order to start creating the cooperation. And also, I have been faced many times the similar questions from the kindergarten, and there isn't any easy solutions for that. It's the progress that needs to be started on building the trust and mutual understanding on the child's development. And we have been giving this training for the parents, where there is the teachers and parents sitting in the same webinar, and we are teaching them at the same time. And I think it's really important for the educators to hear the question that the parents are concerned. And also in that way, the teachers will learn also how to give an answer for the parents concerned as well. Our How to Raise Happy Kids course, it's of course the voluntary. We cannot force any parents to join for it. And it's totally fine that if there is a parent who don't want to join, they don't feel that is important from their point of view. But I also believe that, let's say in the kindergarten where is 100 children and half of the parents will join, those parents who will join, they will start spreading the word and say how their mindset have changed and how happy have they were. And maybe the next round, when we are giving it again in the next year, maybe new parents will join. And this is something that have happened every time that we have been cooperating with the parents. We have been in Vietnam, where we have longer tradition already. We have been successfully kind of like creating together with the teachers a new practical kind of like ideas and solution how the parents and the teachers and the kindergartens can work together, and creating the kindergarten also the place not only for the child, but also the place where the parents can meet each other, they can support each other, they can share their expectations, they can share their hopes and wishes and concerns among not only teachers, but also for the parents. In Finland, we have really long tradition of the parents' cooperation. And actually, when you read the early childhood education law of Finland, it points out that one of the aim of early childhood education is to support parents in their educational role. And this supportive kind of like a mindset and cooperative mindset is something that we give lots of tools. Not only our teacher training, but when we go through our lesson plans, there might be one aspect that even though that this is the lesson that you do and implement inside of the classroom, there's one aspect that connects the parents into the things that the children are doing in the kindergartens. I think that wasn't quite short answer for you, but I hope I answered for your question.
Thank you for the insight. I believe, like you said, it's all about advocacy. It takes one parent to spread the word. So I think we can also definitely implement and take some of your ideas, and ONNI program can help us with that in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you. I will move a little bit further because the parent role is important. It's also highlighted in the NEP, but I would like to give a little bit reflective questions for you to ponder. And if you want to answer some of these at the moment, it would be really welcome. We have still a little bit time. But the questions and reflections for you is that how do you see the NEP reforms in your school? What are the challenges do you face in moving from the rote learning to the play-based learning? And also the questions regarding to the parents' role is that what ways are the parents responding to these changes? And the last one is which part of the NEP do you find most exciting or inspiring? Is there anyone wants to make some of the reflection regarding to these questions or share them with here now?
Hi, Olli. I'm out there again.
Yes,
So,
yes.
recently, we had a meeting with Standard 1 and Standard 2 parents. And as per the NEP guidelines, Class 1, which is Standard 1 and Standard 2, should be incorporated with preschool educational system, which was never the case before.
Mm,
And it was a challenge for us. It is still a challenge for us to get the parents on board and understand the importance of this move, because as an educator myself, I have always seen that kids do transition from upper kindergarten to class 1 and class 2, and the transition is very, very abrupt for them.
mm,
So
mm,
I was really happy that NEP did this, and our school in Guwahati in Northeast was the first school who which has introduced, which is going to introduce class 1 and class 2. But yes, this reform is something that we are still trying to get some parents on board with this idea. And this is one of the challenges that we are facing. And when it comes to play-based learning of students of ages 2 to 6, it is a wonderful it was a beautiful ideology. Everyone is in support, because children are the product of their environment. And when I was a toddler, I remember that it was very, very disciplined and very, very strict, very limited, I would say.
mm,
But since I have explored and been a part of this education system and have known how exploratory play is so much important for these kids, it has been wonderful. And also saying that, I think play-based learning is amazing for them. It really, really incorporates so much of free play in them. They are so much more curious, and it is structured, yet it is very safe and joyful for them. right? And the challenge for the teachers, I would say, is that the lesson planning, you trying to keep it really interesting for them, but also forming an environment where they are able to learn and imbibe certain concepts, some literacy from the syllabus. That is something my teachers are facing a little bit of problem, because every day we have to change it, we have to
Mm,
bring in something new. So
mm.
yeah, that brainstorming part is something we are really struggling with. And yeah, I mean, I think I have covered all the questions. I have reflected on everything, so yeah, that's from my end.
Great, thank
Thank you.
you for your reflection and really good point about the transition phases of the children's life and in their learning paths, and also the struggles with the teachers to find interesting kind of like lesson plans and also I if I have understood it right, that there is now strong demand of the Indian parents of kind of like books related learning, and now the transitions from the books and from the academic skills on more on the play-based learning, it might be
Yes,
something
yeah,
that concerned many parents.
yes. They finally acknowledged it, and it is scientifically backed, so it definitely validates the entire idea. It is not something a random thought that they have brought up. So they have finally understood, and they have been really accepting of the fact.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah.
Hi,
Good.
Olli.
Yes, hello.
Hi. I'll just share my insight on this. Yeah, NEP has started from 2020. They have started the framework and everything come in 2022. Before that, for this kindergarten season, there was no structured curriculum as such. In fact, that was implemented now only, and a lot of schools are adopting it.
Mm,
But the issue right now, what I feel is that, as Madam Rachna said, uh, people aware of NEP, yes, NEP, but how to implement it is a big question mark. And also, training part is secondary. Implementation is now is a major issue in this segment.
mm,
Most of the school, I think, Ma'am Roma, at least you are good that you have started implementing it. Many
Yes.
schools in India are still continuing as the root education right now. At least 80% of them. So it is a good thing that the Finnish education one has to implement to ensure that the big picture
mm,
of a happy and a well-being child to come. So that is a big thing which is there. It is a required complete mindset, and people should aware that at least the educators should aware that yes, there is something one can change the scenario of the education. Number one. Second question I have when I was going through it, how one can evaluate that look, after implementation of this Finnish education, there is a change. It is an experiential change which I feel, but as a tangible way, how one can say that look, yeah, there is this school is implementing this particular education, and there is a change. There is a tangible change. My that is what is a big question, because currently it is a philosophy, if I am correct. Okay, implementation that in a school probably will be slightly dicey for mem like Roma and all that to convince the parents, the management, to everybody. So if you have some kind of uh, things or some kind of a testimonial or something which will be useful for the parents to know or the management to come across to the board. That is what I feel is one thing.
mm. Really good points, and also totally agree with you that uh, it's about the, like I say, that it's about the mindset and how do we measure that, or how do we make sure that everybody is on the same page and how do we implement that mindset and changes into the practice, and also the thing that, if I understood it right, that many of the kindergartens have missing the curriculum part, like a written one, and how do they follow it? And it's also one of the big thing. In Finland, we have like a national curriculum, but besides that, every kindergarten make their own curriculum yearly with the learning goals and with the explanation about what kind of groups they have at the moment. And they make like a mission for each year, like an action plan. And this is something that is made together with the parents as well. The parents are also joining. Their questions have been asked, and they are implementing into that yearly curriculum that we are making. But those are quick, big topics and good questions. I would like to also ask, what is, Rachna, you think about for this?
Yeah, so really great insights coming from you all, and I'm glad that Ms. Gogoi, you have already started implementing. One must understand this is a process. So once you start implementing, you will start seeing the results with time, because there is a shift in the mindset of people and it takes time to see results, and results people are trying to understand through a child. So when you see the child is evolving in a certain manner, you suddenly start seeing that change when the child is more joyful, is becoming more curious, is exploring more, and is learning by their own selves, which is the best form of learning. So to all for all this to happen, there would be a time window, and the parents will observe this change. So this change is an observation over a period of time. So definitely this is going to show results. And as per Mr. Jenna's thinking, saying that this could be like a, what is the, how can we measure it, is this a philosophy? So I must say that this has been this is a very research based philosophy. It is not only a philosophy, it's a research based philosophy which has been applied for decades and decades in Finland and in many parts of the world. So it's not only in Finland that this Finnish method prevails. It is very much adapted in different parts of the world, in the US or in even in China, and now even in Japan. So, it is being recognized by some very by countries. It is being recognized in a way that it brings in that kind of change. So we have been actively working in Vietnam for the past 7 years as ONNI Education, and definitely over these 7 years there has been a continuous renewals, continuous additions, and this shows that there is change that the parents have observed there. The educators have felt that thing, to the extent that they want to keep renewing and working with us even more, because
Mm,
they are seeing that result. So
mm, mm.
this is what I would like to say here, Mr. Kamunen. Over to you.
That's good add-on. And also how to measure the quality of early childhood education is a really big and important topic, and that could be one of our webinars topics for the following ideas. Thank you for that. But I have to say also that in many cases, the results of the quality early childhood education is something that you can witness when the children is growing older. But the best possible way to measure the quality of the early childhood education is what we do in Finland is the parent satisfaction questionnaire that provide the information about how satisfied the parents are and how well they are seeing the learning results and changes in children. And of course, in many of the cases, like our biggest partner in Vietnam has expanding almost yearly with the new kindergartens, and they are all kind of like sharing the same trainings and same lessons and everything. So it has been also a good result for us that we are doing something right. We're getting more satisfied parents, more well-being children, and when they are continuing their life, and they are more better prepared not only for the school but life itself.
Yes.
Our time is going to run out. I would like to give you a short head up what's happening next. With today, as you noticed, that we have talked lots about the parents' role. And this is an essential part because the parents are the one who are satisfied or not satisfied. They are the one who are looking for the other options if they are not satisfied. So what we really need to do is to win parents' trust. Win parents' trust in this kind of like a new ideology, new philosophy in play-based learning. And we are giving the next webinars regarding to that topic. And the last one, our third webinars for now is the happy teachers, thriving students, better results and less workload. Besides that, we are emphasizing lots of the children's well-being and children happiness. We understand that the teachers play a major role in this. And if the teachers feel well in the workplaces, there's much less turnover. There is much less kind of like a stress among the teachers, and the teachers can feel more comfortable and more, they have better resources of implementing the new pedagogy. So we are warmly inviting you to these two next webinars. You can register by using that QR code or directly from the emails that you received. And we are giving also the practical answer to your biggest questions. And I would like to end to our contact details and also the thing that we are really happy to have this kind of like conversation and hear about the challenges and also not only challenges but also the best practices that you are now here sharing among each others as well. And this is a long progress to creating a better early childhood education, but that is the fruitful task because this way we can create better, not only better childhood for the children part, but also the better societies in the future. So on our behalf, we keep the lines open for a few more minutes if somebody wants to say and make questions or want to give us a feedback. But on our behalf and my behalf as well, I would like to thank you for joining today, on spending your Saturday day with us. And it has been a really pleasure from my side as well. And do you, Rachna, want to contribute also something?
Yes, absolutely. I'm actually very grateful for each one of you to join with, spending your time to understand, about NEP, about how you can apply it effectively in your school and investing your time in understanding about ONNI education. So I'm really grateful for you to be here this morning.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
for
for
having us.
organizing this kind of webinar. It's definitely an enriching experience, and in future also we are looking for this webinars. Thank you.
Thank you. Feel free to
Thank you.
reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to answer your queries.
Thank you for having me as well. It was really insightful, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the future webinars. I'll be there for sure. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Goy. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I will stop sharing and hope to see you all in the upcoming webinars and also have the market that we are joining from Finland to the biggest education fair in India, DIDAC. So then it is my first visit in India ground, so looking really forward to that and looking also forward to meeting you all in the upcoming webinars or either in DIDAC fairs.
Thank you. You are
Yes,
welcome.
DIDAC is in November. We will be participating, so we'll be so happy to see you there.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Rachna.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.